Hey guys, be sure to press like and subscribe. Today I wanted to do a story about just say no, okay? I read a story today about a guy that come over here, and he learned really quick, this guy. He got off the plane, he met his intended girlfriend, and they headed off with his family, and they headed off to some resort immediately. And when he got to the resort, I guess he found out that it was supposed to be just for him and his girlfriend. He had already sent over some money, and she had used that up for paying a down payment for a bunch of cottages or something like that, from what I understand. And what happened was that, he didn't want to do that. But it was just for one night, and it wasn't a heck of a lot of money. So he ended up paying, I guess. And he then went out to a restaurant the next day, and he did pay for the rooms for one night. He told his girlfriend it was for one night, and he stayed with his girlfriend that night. Next day, they went out for lunch, I guess. And what happened was they went into the restaurant, and it was a really good restaurant, and he was expected to pay for it, and he learned to say no, really quick, because the people were taking advantage of him from the get-go, and you have to be like that. And this story, I've heard this story like about 3 or 4 times from different people, and it seems to be like a regular thing when people get off. When the expat gets off the plane, the family takes them someplace, and they're expected to pay for the first night, which I can understand. The first night, okay, that's okay. The family's coming here to greet you. That they don't have a lot of money, and your girlfriend's safe with them. I get that. That's fine. But to take you to a nice restaurant the next day where it's expensive and then expect you to pay for that, that's just downright taking advantage of you, and people need to learn to live a little bit cheaper, if they're gonna have somebody pay. I mean, I wouldn't mind if it was a cheaper restaurant and you were going to McDonald's or something. That's fine, but I mean, us as expats, we have to learn to say no. And I'm gonna get into some other things here. A lot of times in the Philippines, you're gonna be expected to chip in on things. You're gonna be asked to, if you go to a funeral or a wake, you're expected to pay alms, and just give them what you can afford, and if you can't afford it, that's okay too. I mean, it is what it is. It's okay to say no sometimes, and as expats, we forget that it's okay to say no. And the girls here tend to have like a way to sweet talk you into things, and just don't let it happen. Just say, honey, I can't, or if it's somebody else that's asking you, say, I really just can't afford it right now. Be honest with them. Otherwise, you're going to end up broke over here, because with the amount of people that are poor over here, you're going to get hit up a lot for money, and you have to learn to say no. You have to learn to say no sometimes, and I've learned to say no a lot more often, because I find myself, short on money or something like that once in a while, and I make halfway decent money here. I mean, being retired, but I mean, you have to say no. And if there's one thing I can teach expats here, it's to say no. And it's the simplest thing I can teach you. For you newbies coming over here, and you're coming over here with your savings and stuff like that, and you want to have like an emergency fund. Make sure you never dip into your emergency fund unless it's for you, okay, or your girlfriend, and make sure it's legit, okay? Medical over here is really cheap. Don't be paying for other people's funeral services and wake costs and sicknesses and things like that. Even in your family, chip in a little bit. That's something that's expected in Filipino families. Chip in whatever you think you can afford, but don't overdo it. And you'll be okay. Don't let people keep coming back to you and hitting you up for money all the time. You know, if you see a trend, say, listen, you know, you're always asking me for money, and I'm the wrong person to come to. You know, and you know, I'm not. I just have to say no. You know, I can't afford it right now, and you know, it's understandable. It's okay to say no. It's not a scam though for people to be asking you for money here. Okay, it's a scam when you're getting scammed by a scammer girl or something like that online, and she's asking you for a fake, you know, phone that she already has a phone, or she's, you know, she's starving and she's not starving. Things, that's a scam. Legit, I'm talking about legit things, like when people are asking you for legit things. But sometimes sometimes the way things go down here, and you have to make sure that if you're coming here, that you tell your girlfriend in advance, listen, I can only afford for you and I. That's what you can afford when you come over here. And, you know, if you want to bring somebody for safety or something like that, I'll pay for them, you know, when we meet at the airport. But other than that, don't bring your whole family and expect me to pay for the whole thing, you know, unless they're riding in the same car and you're riding back the same night or something like that. That's different. That's what happened in my case. Okay, so, I mean, just learn to say no, you know, just from the minute you get off the plane, learn to say no. You know, I mean, if you don't feel it's right, say no. Say, listen, I can't afford to pay for these people. They might try to force you by making you feel bad. Well, you know, they drove me here or whatever. That's a different case. So make sure you have some extra money for stuff like that when you come over here. But if you see that you're getting scammed and it's happening a lot, then just say, listen, no. And if you have to, just leave. You know, I mean, if you feel you're getting scammed or they're taking advantage of you in a big way, in a large way, then leave. You know, if you planned a month here, it's better off to be a month alone than be a month, you know, a month broke because this woman took you for all you have, you know. And maybe during that time, maybe you could meet somebody else, and that's a possibility too. So guys, you know, don't get taken advantage of here, you know. And I'm not saying everybody's a scammer here. They're not. They're not. And the scammers give the good girls a bad name here. But poverty does rear its ugly head here in strange ways sometimes. And that's why you have to say no. You know, that they're not used to having somebody around that has money. So when they have somebody that has money, they want some of that money. And that's the sad part, okay? If you're gonna coming over to see your girlfriend, just try to be with her alone most of the time without the family. Take her someplace and to a resort or something like that. It's okay to be with the family too, but make sure you tell your girlfriend in advance, look, I don't have money to be taking your family out. You know, I'll chip in for food. If you guys want to cook up some food or something like that, that's fine. You know, that's different and it's a lot cheaper, okay? But guys, first thing you need to learn when you land on the tarmac here, you know, no. You know, you need to learn that word, okay? It's a hard word to learn in the Philippines. It's hard to say no to somebody that's sweet and kind, and you know, and but you have to learn here, you know, and the people are sweet and kind no matter what. Even if you say no, they understand in most cases. If they keep fighting you on that, then you have a problem, you know. Sometimes you're gonna have to say yes, you know. But anyway, guys, I just want to do this short video on that. I thought it was important. I hope you enjoy it. Be sure to press subscribe and like. Okay, thanks guys. If you have any ideas on videos, let me know.